Hello and welcome to the conversation. Today in the conversation we have Jenani Aravinthan. She's a full-time mom now, an investor, a property investor, have qualified into pharmaceuticals. She have done a BSc in pharmaceuticals. Aspirations is to write in different fields, especially pharmaceutical or technical writing, as well as inspirational writings. So many more stuff. So let's explore what she has to say today. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hi, it's nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
That's great. So the list goes on. I was actually trying to summarize as much as possible, but you have a kind of a mixed, diverse background in terms of your profession, in terms of what you wanted to do and moving on. So how did it all happen? Like, what was the inspiration?
Well, to start off, I was brought up in Germany, and as all parents, my parents always wanted me to do something in science, so I started studying more like scientific things and ended up here in UK. I studied at Greenwich University. I did pharmaceutical sciences, as you said, and it was okay. And then I was working for AstraZeneca as well for a couple of years, and then I got married and then had kids, and then I thought I wanted to be with the children, spend more time with them, so I gave up my work for that. And then I wasn't really doing much for some time, but then we started listening to this motivational CDs and everything, Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump and all these things. My husband was really into that, so I was just listening along with him. They were really interesting things that they said, and really made me see loads of things that I didn't see before. Like, for example, Robert Kiyosaki, he used to say, like, you shouldn't be really working for money. Money should work for you. So if you think about it, it makes really sense. Nobody really wants to wake up in the morning and go to work, hurry in the rush. And I thought it's like, does make sense. You only live once, and you want to enjoy your life to the max and do for everything everyone that you can do, really. So
it's a very interesting philosophy in a way, because you live for once and you want to carry on exploring things, and also moving on to understand how the whole world works. So from the background, because you migrated from the island of Sri Lanka somewhere around when you were 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah, I think I was 7 years old when I migrated.
So how could you actually continue to speak Tamil as native, in the sense that you can speak as a native person? You are a native person,
yes,
anyway.
Yeah.
But then you continue, because there is quite a lot of examples where kids completely forget about the language, and then they move on to the European languages or English as an international language. So what was your inspiration of continuing to speak Tamil?
I think it's my parents, really, because they were, my dad especially, he's been always into Tamil and everything. And my mom is in Sri Lanka, she was a teacher, so that was helpful. She taught us to write and to read in Tamil. And my father, he thinks Tamil is our identity, so we shouldn't forget that, and we should be able to communicate, especially to elderly people and everybody in Tamil. So he made sure that I and my brother, we speak Tamil all the time, and at home especially. And also because probably he's the editor, so it's a bit embarrassing to go out and say, Tamil to everybody, and your daughter doesn't speak Tamil. That's a bit embarrassing. So I think, probably that's also one of the reasons he made sure that we do know Tamil.
So how long your dad continuing with that Vettimani paper? I mean, quite a long time now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually my granddad, my father's dad, started it off in Sri Lanka. He also called it Vettimani. And after he passed away, we migrated to Germany, obviously, and it took some time for my dad to start it as well. But it's been like 20 years now in Germany, so most people know in Germany, if you say Vettimani, they know. And since 10 years, he's also publishing it in Sri Lanka. And now only recently, it has come to England, so especially to London for the past 5-6 months, I think.
The key reason I was going into that is that you still continue to write in Tamil.
Yeah.
That is amazing, because keeping the nuances and continuing to write in 2 or 3 languages, I'm presuming that you still write and read in German as well.
Yes, I do speak and read mainly German things, but mainly Tamil, because I write for my dad's paper as well. But the main reason for me writing is my dad asked me to write because he wants more youngsters to write for the younger community.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants different motivational information, not just for young people, also for parents.
But still, all the progressiveness in the sense, and also preserving the identity, still that in terms of profession, in terms of selecting your career, that your parents preferred science rather than arts, because it's interesting, because he is from an arts background and your family is from an arts background, and you want to continue with culture, identity, arts. But what actually made them to think more scientific language? Is it just a cultural thing? Is it just the kind of mindset or the background?
I think it's every parent's, like my parents' generation mainly, the way they think, the cultural background does play a role. Even though my dad's father wasn't like that, because he allowed my dad to study Bachelor of Fine Arts, which was quite rare that time. But maybe my mother's side, she wants, before they even ask you what you want to become, they say, oh, she wants to become a doctor. And then it's just not, they don't even tell you or ask you, do you want to become a doctor, or you should become a doctor? It's kind of a indirect brainwashing. Oh, she wants to become a doctor. Oh, it says you will become a doctor. The horoscope thing and everything. And then they say, oh, I think it said you are going to be a doctor. I said, okay. And then you try, your best in scientific field, because you think, okay, I'm working towards doctor. And then when I came to do my advanced level, I thought, oh my God, in Germany, to become a doctor, it takes so longer than in UK, really. So I told them, no, I don't really want to become a doctor, maybe like a pharmaceutical scientist or something, because I was interested in science because I got used to it. And so I said, I will become a pharmaceutical scientist. And even that, in doing it in Germany at that time, it would have taken me more than 5 years in a way. So in UK it was only 3 years, and 4 years with that industrial work placement. So I thought that's much better, sounds better, I will be finished with my education quicker. So I applied here and I came here. But the main reason are the parents, in a way, to, But I did ask my mom, why did you say, did it really say I'm going to become a doctor? And then my mom said, no, only if we say that, you will try your maximum to get there somewhere, close to that. If we say, oh, you're going to be this and that, you will always settle for lower. So we'll tell you the highest, so that you achieve, say, at least 90-80% of what our imagination know what we want you to become is. So I was like, okay, for them it sounds quite okay.
It's very interesting, because it's also it's a generation thing.
Yeah.
And generationally, if you look at that generation, that the opportunities are quite limited, in the sense that you have only science subjects or science fields that you can actually pursue the future further. But when you see the transformation, because you in the conversation earlier you said you decided only after marriage. So you have a progressive person like who actually inspired you to go into different fields and completely forget about pharmaceutical, because it's difficult when you work for a giant, like a pharmaceutical giant, like the careers are always there. You can actually go up there. You're a researcher and so on. It's hard to make the choice of switching. So what was the primary reason of that switch, or like just to make sure that's how I'm going to actually come out of this, come out of the profession? Is it just because you want to change the field, or is it other reasons?
Well, I think for me it was coming out of the field was the children. So and if you are in a field like quite secure and comfortable, if you are comfortable with your field and what you're doing, you just stay there. You don't look for other opportunities. So because I stopped my field, I had to look out for other opportunities, and then suddenly there are loads of other doors that's open to you because you are not secured with something. You don't think, oh, I'm getting a regular income from this, so I don't want to come out of that. So I didn't have that problem. So I was quite flexible and open to new ideas and to new opportunities as well. And then I think the investing thing, I was quite keen on that because we started investing in our first property in 2000, and then that was to like after 5-6 years you see the capital income, but how much it has gone up and stuff. So you see the reality. Okay, you buy a property for 100,000, and then after 5-6 years, wow, 40,000, 60,000 more, and then you can take out the money, and you have so many opportunities to play with that money. You can go back and reinvest in something else, or renovate.
In a way, the 2000, 2001 time is the property was just booming.
Yeah.
You were
that
in
was the best
right
time.
moment of time when you started.
Yeah.
Let's go into that first, but it is important that you made a choice for your children because it's also like you wanted to be there with them and so on. How will you actually be different to your parents in bringing up from your generation and when you want to bring up your children, because you have made a choice of staying home, because most of our parents, when they actually migrated to foreign countries due to the situations in Sri Lanka and so on, they both were working hard and they were trying to juggle up and manage in the sense, and in the sense as the generations have actually lost the real parent touch and the cultural sense of being with the parents. Because how will you be different to your children? Have you actually thought about it?
Yes, I have, definitely. First of all, I think I'll give them the freedom to choose, for example, from GCSE onwards even, what they want to choose, they can choose. I'm not going to sit down and say, no, you're going to take biology, you're going to take triple science, you're going to take maths, you're going to take this and that. They should have the freedom to choose what they want, because I believe if they take what they want, they will succeed in that field even better than me choosing for them. So I think whatever they want to become, they can become. I'm not going to say, oh, you're going to become a hairdresser. No, you shouldn't do that. Because I see loads of opportunities even in hairdressing, field. So there's so many things that they can do, and if they want to do it, I'm not going to say no to them. So that's definitely, I made up my mind there.
So that part will actually play a role for a long time, because it's not just going to happen overnight, because it's 20 years journey, or maybe more sometimes in some cases. So let's actually keep that aside. Let's just come back to the property investments and property development. So you have moved on and you have bought quite a few properties. Your husband is inspirational in that, and you will work as a team.
Yes.
But recently you decided to move out of London, and it's a career change, I know, from your husband's side. But what difference are you seeing in outside London or north of England compared to London? Because culturally, as well as in terms of the lifestyle wise, have you compromised anything?
It is very true, as you said. In London, it's so hectic. Even traveling to work, it takes you probably 1 to 1.5 hours. And whereas in the northwest of England, or Cheshire, it's just half an hour maximum you are there at work, and you can drive there. You don't have to take tubes, you don't have to take trains. It's quite commutable to everywhere. And thinking about people, I can't really see much difference. Okay, the entertainment is a bit lacking there. You get more entertainment for youngsters here than in Cheshire, I would say. But other than that, I don't really see much difference. The only thing is the hectic and relaxed environment, really. I think much.
Well, in terms of investment, you were talking about that, like properties in the northwest of England, it's quite the yield is high,
Yeah.
and the value in returns are quite high. So can you explain more about how you actually look at that?
Yeah, definitely. We do have an investment in London as well, especially in the Woolwich area and other parts of London, and at the same time have properties both in the northwest of England as well. And massive difference in the price, for example. Obviously, the minimum you have to pay here for a property will be like 160, 200 even, depends on the area you're buying. Whereas there in Cheshire, you can even buy a property for 50 to 60,000. That's so low, and still you get a good yield, like renting yield out of it, and maybe not the best capital income in the future, like, but still it's very good for those who would like to invest, in properties. It's very, risk-wise is very low rather than investing in London. And especially for first-time buyer, I would recommend Cheshire or Northwest. It's really good for them.
Because there's quite a lot of aspects involved in terms of looking at a property and buying, and also the psychological side of it,
Yeah.
and the motivational part of it, and also, there are ups and downs.
Yeah.
So what kind of guidance you had, or in sense, or both of you had?
I think the psychology part plays a big role in everybody's life when it comes to any sorts of investment. First of all, especially when it comes to Tamil people, I think they are scared of the unknown. If you don't know about something, you are scared of it, and you think, oh, what if it goes wrong? What if you've got so many negative thoughts than more positive thoughts? You don't think about the positive things. You're more likely to think about the negative things that might come along with that opportunity. So I would really tell them, don't have any fear for the unknown. Just try. You have to try to succeed in any field. So, and there are so many opportunities. You can't think like, say, one of the reasons can be like, I don't have enough money to invest in properties. But if you really try hard, you can get on the ladder. There are so many opportunities, like you can get credit, borrow from friends and families, or there's also something called bridging loans, which is a bit of high interest. But if you know what you're doing, and if you're confident enough that you can pay that money back within few months or a year, you can do it. There's, for an example, I'd like to tell you, like, say you're buying a property for 52,500, which is quite possible in the northwest of England. So £52,000, and sometimes those properties you won't be able to get a mortgage on it. So you might think,
is that because of the areas?
Because of the state of the property, perhaps.
Right.
So it might come on auction, or it's just available without any mortgage on it. So first thing you will be thinking is 52,000 enough. I can't afford it. But if you put all the monies, like friends, families who are ready to help, or get some credit card loans or bridging loans, and then you take that money out, and then you will probably have another £25,000 for the renovation, and then you renovate the property and then get a value in it. Mm-hmm. It will be probably worth 120,000 So then you can get a mortgage on it for that sum, and then if you get a mortgage, say buy-to-let mortgage on a 75% rate, then they will pay 90,000. You'll pay 30,000 for that, and so in a way, you've taken the money out that you have actually put in it. Mm-hmm. Plus, you will have £10,000 extra, which you can even pay the interest on the things. You can pay off your loans or whoever you borrowed it from, and you can even pay the legal fees with that 10,000, and the deposit that you paid in for the property is still in there, and it's not your money. So it works quite well. It's just the...
So this is these are the kind of insights that it's important for people, and also you mentioned several times about the psychological aspects of it, because I'm personally interested in the motivational science and the motivational side of things, because that's what push people to go beyond what they can achieve and actually get those goals that they wanted for themselves in their lives. So you said that you do write in English and Tamil, mainly in Tamil, and mainly technical writings as well as in motivational writing. So where's your motivations come from in terms of do you actually see some motivational speakers, and do you actually or do you have your own style in motivating people? Because sometimes the motivation can actually die down after you hear, you hear something is nice, but then after a day it's gone. But how do you sustain this motivation, and in your writing what kind of things you put in?
I think first of all I have seen some of the motivational speakers and went to their events and programs and stuff. But mainly I've listened to their CDs, especially people like Robert Kiyosaki, Donald Trump, Steve Jobs. So they all tell you you don't really need education to succeed in life. You just need the right attitude and the right motivation and the right, you just have to probably change your characteristic in some ways and start to believe in what you want. So things like that. And some people, they call themselves business people, but they are 24/7 behind a till or something. That's not like business, that's self-employed. There's a difference between self-employed and being a businessman. A businessman is who can sit at home and doesn't have to think too much about it, and the money, his money that he invested in something, it's working for him. So that's probably one of the reasons we chose property, because you don't really have the big headache. Once you bought it, you rent it out, and then you have this passive income, not the active income.
So kind of
there's a difference between the passive and the active income. And self-employed people, they do get passive income, active income. And investors mostly get the passive income, so to say. So maybe because I'm a bit lazy, so I like the passive income. At the same time, I get the chance to be with the children.
The other aspect that I wanted to talk about is your charitable side of things. You wanted to build a socio-economic life for people back in homeland, and even though you left when at the age of 6 or 7, but after so many years that you got involved in a lot of charitable work in sense, I would refrain from saying charitable work. It's more building socio-economic status of them, just to give them a life like they can actually build. So how did that, when, at what point did you decide to get involved, and how are you actually carrying on doing that?
Well, that also started with my father's dad, I think. Even when he was in Sri Lanka, he started this newspaper actually for students because he wanted to encourage them.
So where was this based, this paper?
That was in Kurumba City in Jaffna.
Jaffna, okay.
Yeah, but he mainly published it for students because he wanted to encourage them. And he helped so many people to study, and he even called people home, gave free tuitions and everything. So even at that time, he was that minded person. And even my dad, he speaks quite a lot of him, and even my dad himself does lots of charity work through Vetimani in Sri Lanka. So I also do through him, through Vetimani. So I give free tuitions for those who can't really afford to go to tuitions, because the education is main thing for them, because they are not in a state where they can think. You don't need to be educated to become big or be successful.
What you're trying to say is the opportunities are quite limited for various reasons, social, ethnic reasons, and so on. So it's the only way out is...
Yeah, so only way to help them is to educate themselves. Once they come out of university or advanced level even, they can look after themselves. So you don't have to go behind them. So I do tuition there in Rumbai and
So that's now?
Yes.
Okay.
And I give free tuitions in Kandapuram, that's in Vanni. But myself, been to Vanni as well last year. My dad really was so angry because I went to that zone because I really wanted to look at the people, how they live, their situation, and it's so like, you can't believe in what state they are living. They don't even have a proper house. It's like made of metal, you know, like size. They just, it's unbelievable how they live, seriously. And even from those, in that situation, there are children who do so well in school. So one or two girls and a boy, they could go to university, but because of the financial aspects, they were a bit reluctant. They couldn't go, or they said, oh, we can't afford to. So I helped them as well to come over to Jaffna and everything, and then settle in a room. So now they are studying. So once they come out, they can look after their family themselves.
So we have gone through several list of things which I went through, and started with your career and especially your dad's inspiration about the paper and so on, pharmaceutical field, that how you got in. In fact, we didn't have much time to talk about it, and extensively about property and your good work in Vanni and in Jaffna mainly, and also your inspirational message. So for any youngster, if you want to give something sharp and very straight, like looking at this program, thinking about their career, what will you actually summarize?
I would say just have no fear, be confident, especially self-confidence is very important. Whatever you do, you don't have to be an A-star student to achieve something. You can do whatever you want. If you can dream it, I mean, one of the speakers says, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. So just believe in yourself and do it. That's what I can say, really. Don't look at what others think. Don't hear what others say, especially with the negative things, what they say. Just forget about those things. Just be positive. And if you think you want to do something, try to do it. And make sure that you do it, then you will definitely succeed.
Yes, be yourself, be confident, and you will succeed. That's the message we are getting here from Jenani today. Quite energetic here, the inspiration she carries. And we had another evening, talked about various aspects here today. Thank you very much for joining with the conversation.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Once again, please feel free to write to us. Feel free to give your opinions, feedback. Always your constructive feedback is welcomed, and we're trying to improve day by day in these programs. And also, I openly welcome you to join, contact us through the conversation team to join in this program in the future programs. Thank you very much, and goodbye.